No, we split companies into champions and challengers. Concardis has been a traditional business. Maybe you can give some background on where the company is coming from and how you're rebuilding it now, because I think it's a very interesting story.
Yes, Marco, I think it's an interesting story. Concardis is, I would say, probably one of the leftovers of the old credit card business here in the German market, in the German-speaking market. In its, let's say, origin, it was part of the monopolistic company called GZS. For the non-German speakers, it means Gesellschaft für Zahlungssysteme. I mean, it already says what it is. It's a very, let's say, long, typical German name. Then it was later, GZS was split in the 90s into two companies, GZS and Euro-Kartensysteme. And then Concardis was, again, a kind of a spin-off back in 2003, when the acquiring business, credit card only, was created or carved out in Concardis. So since 2003, Concardis operates under this name. We have been owned by all the German banks, private banks, saving banks, DZ Bank, and since very recent, this has changed.
You're now owned by private equity, and I believe it's Bain and Advent. They also owned WorldPay, which became a large exit, I think, on the stock market. Is it important to have shareholders who understand the business?
That is important, and obviously I shouldn't say that my former shareholders didn't understand the business, but clearly if you are in a club structure, as you call it, there are conflicting interests. There was not really a common, let's say, attitude towards Concardis. There was no real support for a strategy going forward. When I joined the company 3.5 years ago, it was clear to me that clearly at some point this topic has to be resolved. So we started investing over the last 2 years, which was also new. Until, let's say, 2 years ago, Concardis was a cash cow for our shareholders. Then all of a sudden, in quotation, we started to invest. And this has also created...
What do you invest?
We did some acquisitions. We bought some merchant portfolios. We invested back in 2014 in Orderbird, the iPad-based cashier system.
The Metro, we learned, is also a shareholder.
Metro, I mean, followed us in a way. So clearly our investment back in 2014 was a good one. But for us, it was obviously not a VC situation. It was more that at that time in 2014, we also entered the market with our own MPOS offering. And I said we should really get deeper into that ecosystem. And by investing and partnering as payment partner with Orderbird, I think we also, as an incumbent player, could learn a lot about this environment. And this we have been continuing. We also started to invest in our own platforms, which was also a new thing to Concardis. And this all has created, I mean, a dynamic where at some point our shareholder said, I think we should reorganize the shareholder structure. So we went through a process last year, and Advent International and Bain Capital then finally were, let's say, the winners.
Is the price public?
The price, I mean, there was a price in the press, 700 million. I think you have to deduct here some special, let's say, aspects. We also got proceeds from the Visa Europe sale, so this you have to deduct. I think probably a fair enterprise value was, let's say, 500 plus something.
And what is your typical customer? Adyen seems to power like the big US giants. Stripe is very smart and helps the entrepreneurs also with other services. They seem to have a very global long tail of customer. What is your top typical customer?
I mean, we have right now 110,000 customers.
110,000 customers?
Yes. That is obviously something what I think we are maybe a little bit advanced to some other payment players. So typically, we serve customers from very, very big, I mean, very big retailers in Germany or in the DACH region, big airlines who are well known also in Germany, where we, for example, do also global acquiring, but also from to very small merchants. So clearly, our, let's say, core or main merchant book is card present. Nevertheless, 20 to 30% of our acquiring volume is already also related to e-commerce.
Okay. So how much percent?
20 to 30%.
But what is your edge? Because I mean, we learned there are many players, and we learned there are not so many players. What is your differentiation when you look at an order bird or so? Why do they sign up? Are you cheaper? Do you have better conversion? Is it coverage?
I think clearly the advantage, I think for Orderbird is that we have been, or that we are an established player. So I think they can really rely and trust on a performing product, and that I think was also back in 2014, I think decisive for Orderbird to not just accept us as investor, but also as a payment partner. And that is, I think, one of our core assets. Clearly now in the new also shareholder situation, we will look at a buy and build strategy.
We have lots of companies here coming later, which is smaller than yours, which are growing very, very fast and have great technology. What type of acquisitions are you interested in? Is it mostly technology? Is it market share, geographic?
I think clearly a high priority now is to gain market share.
Yeah.
That's, let's say, a known secret. I mean, Edwin Bain is very eager to support the Concardis platform to do further acquisitions, clearly to, as I said, to increase the market share in the DACH region, but also to improve our position in key parts of the value chain. And despite the fact that our transaction is not yet closed, I mean, it will happen in July. We did already first acquisition, which is RatePay, the payment by invoice platform, which we bought from, or Edwin Bain formerly bought from Otto Group.
Okay.
So there will be clearly more to come, and there's clearly a lot happening already in the market.
Wonderful. Do you own any Bitcoins?
No, I don't.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you.
Congratulations for the deal.
Thanks.